people? I am Jaby KOAY, joined by Andrew Flash Gordon.
What's up?
We are going to look at a RAHUL SUBRAMANIAN video today. This one is called Me and My Boss by RAHUL SUBRAMANIAN, stand-up comedy, Comic Stand Season 3 from Amazon Prime Video India. You guys, thanks so much for joining us. Please do me a big favor. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this sucker up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Let's jump into this. Here we go. Oh, by the by, both to you and the audience, if you don't know, I actually got to interview RAHUL SUBRAMANIAN. We did a live stream interview where audience asked questions. I think we have a cut-down version available on this channel, but if you want to see the whole thing uncut, uninterrupted, head over to youtube.com/JabyLive. That's where you can watch the whole thing.
So I got a message from my boss, Rahul, come inside, very important. I went inside, my boss was sitting on his chair, his laptop was shut because he is boss, he doesn't have to work. So holding a digital camera and he said, Rahul, I want to show you something. See, now most days, I didn't even want to see him. But that day, I was forced to see him, his wife, and things that they have created. After showing me those photographs, he looks at me and says, Rahul, do you get what I mean? So I was just like, boss, do you mean that we should all go on more holiday? Like, no, Rahul. What I meant was I bought this new digital camera, which was very obvious. But I'm an Indian employee. It's my responsibility to suck up. So I was like, on your own, you bought digital camera. How? He was like, yeah. I bought this digital camera and taken 500 photographs. How do I transfer them to this laptop? And I'm like, of course, you're the head of technology.
Wow.
Why should you know such petty things?
Wow.
I'm there, boss. I will teach you. I'm like, boss, this is a USB cable. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. ये कोई बात है झूठ बोलने का? I'm like, boss, you connect one end of this USB cable to the camera, other end to the laptop, and then you can transfer the files. He's like, brilliant, Rahul, that's why we hired you. I'm like, that's why?
This is amazing. It's very accurate. I feel like this is definitely not limited to India. Everywhere you go, I mean, at least in the States, you'll find that people in high-level positions often don't know as much as people who are beneath them. They're subordinates, basically.
Oh, for sure. And so much nepotism, too, exists in this world where, like, someone got hired, like, you know, as a favor and, like, they are not qualified to be doing that job as well.
It's very frustrating. I have been in that position more than one time where it's like everyone beneath the boss seems to know like 10 times as much as the boss does, and yet that person's in charge. I have a whole thing I want to get into about that after the video.
Then my boss took the USB cable, connected one end to the camera, other end to the laptop, and then he waited. Rahul, I don't think so. The transfer is happening. Did we make a mistake in hiring you? I was like, boss, वो अपने आप नहीं जाएगा. आपके ex-employees नहीं है. Boss, you have to copy paste. My boss looked at me and said, Rahul, how to copy paste?
Oh, God.
My boss,
Head of technology.
Oh
my God.
did not know Control-C, Control-V. I taught him. Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, it still remains one of the proudest moments of my corporate life. In fact, it went on my CV under key achievements, just about hobbies.
I used to be the tech guy actually at a casting studio for a while. I worked in casting for years. Working as a session runner, someone who directs the auditions, can be so precarious in terms of like, you don't know when you're working again. It was a very stressful job because you're the only one who understands when something goes wrong, restart your machine. Whenever something goes wrong, like I'm the guy that's got to go in there and find whatever the simple solution is, because these guys who are doing things are like his boss. Like they just know just the basic function of what they're supposed to do because fuck computers. Like that's their attitude. It's simple. Like these, how do you get around? How do you get home? Like you had to learn how to drive your car at some point, learn how to drive the computer. It's so frustrating. Oftentimes you have people who won't even try the basic steps to complete the task. They won't even try the basics because they're relying on you to do it for them, like copy paste.
They're in a position of power. They're like, what do I need to learn? I got people working under me who are going to do it for me. I'm not going to figure these simple things out.
Exactly.
You guys think it's very easy to teach your boss copy paste? It's very tough. Because when I tried to teach my boss copy, for a long time, he was not pressing Control and C together. Like, control C, okay, Rahul, control C. It's not working. Did we make a mistake in Array? When I told him how it has to be done, he was like, what, both? Together? All right, Rahul, let's do it your way. There is no other way. It's like, let's do it your way. I will go for the control, you go for the C. Come on, 1, 2. And that's when I told my boss, you don't need me. You can use 2 of your own fingers. He gave me the most boss answer ever. He's like, Rahul, that's not how we approach a problem. No, Rahul. See, when you give a solution, you have to give a solution that works in all scenarios. That's when it's a true solution. What if I was someone with just 1 finger?
Your nose. Your toe.
I was like, boss, if you had just 1 finger, then how will you click photographs in the first place? Brilliant, Rahul. That's why we hired you. That's my time, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have been fantastic.
That was funny. I mean, I had a boss who was like very ambitious with what he wanted, but he didn't understand technology to save his life. Like, he just didn't get it at all.
Yeah, it's got to be so frustrating when you work for someone like who is clearly not qualified to be doing their job.
In relation to this conversation, the worst is when you're the only one in your circle who knows what you know. I would love to have people I can turn to ask questions. I'm the one everyone turns to ask questions. And that's a very stressful position to be in sometimes. You know, like my mom or Achara or, you know, anyone can call me up and go, hey man, I have this issue and like I don't know how to, and I'll tell them the way to fix it. I'll walk them through it and I'll give them, you know, websites to go to or whatever. I don't have anyone that can help me do that when I run into a problem. That's the frustrating thing about being at the top of the pyramid of understanding technology in your circle.
Yep, we all turn to Jaby. That's true. That's very true. It's very true.
It's fascinating that his boss was the head of technology, right? And it didn't understand technology very well. But the thing about it is, these people end up, like, as you mentioned nepotism, but it's not always that. Like, there are bosses who end up in these positions and everyone beneath them thinks that they know more than their boss, but for some reason they're not the boss. For some reason the boss is the boss, and that's something to think about. Like, the boss knows something. The boss must have gotten there somehow. And so I try to take a skeptical view or a skeptical approach, like my understanding of things, because it can't just be nepotism. It's got to be something deeper, you know, with certain people. Take for instance like George Bush W. There is nepotism there. Everyone thinks George W. Bush is an idiot. He's not. You don't get to a position of power like that just by like being, you know, just through nepotism, just through, you know, just by that. There's something else there. When it comes to anyone, anybody, I always try to like ask myself like, okay, maybe they're not as stupid as I think they are, because they are in a position of power. Somehow they got there somehow.
I didn't mean nepotism for every single scenario. I just meant there are lots of cases of nepotism.
No. But this is something that comes up a lot in India. Like nepotism is a huge topic in India, way more than it is here. So it's actually very apt that you brought that up.
No, I mean, I do have that same approach as you, where someone has a level of power of some kind. Like, yes, there might be a level of nepotism, but even if they're not qualified to really be there, but it's like, okay, what did they do to actually get that? They did something. What is? I'm very curious. You know what I mean? So I agree with you.
Yeah. What's hard is teaching family members the basics of computers, because I remember trying to teach my dad how to use a Windows machine, and I was like, okay, click on the start menu, Dad. And he goes, what's the start menu? And I'm like, it says start! There's so many legacy things from the software we used to have. It makes me wonder how people are going to learn this stuff later on. You know, like unlocking your phone, for instance, this swipe up feature, all of that stuff. It's like, it's all legacy. So how do you convey to someone later on who's like not been introduced to this yet, how all of this makes sense?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I could totally get your frustrations. I've had times too with family members or friends when I'm trying to explain something like, the button that's right there in front of your face. Press that button. Oh! Yes. Okay, good. Now we're rolling. So yeah, no, this was so relatable. He's funny. I got to watch that video of you guys interviewing him. He's great.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, all notifications, and vote this up. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
Andrew Flash Gordon.
Peace out.